Hello, Namaste. My name is Mridula Ravikiran, and I welcome you all for the another session on Talk on Muziarts. So the guest speaker for today is Mrs PRAJYOTI Madhusudan. She is a wonderful Bharatanatyam dancer. She has been teaching Bharatanatyam for more than 23 years now, and she is a certified yoga teacher as well. So today the topic we are going to talk about is Natya Shakti Yoga. It's one of the creative approach that Mrs. Prajyoti Madhusudan has introduced. Prajyoti Madhusudan is the artistic director of Pushpanjali Dance Company UK. Her core vision is to make art accessible to all the people of all the ages. And her new approach, creative approach of introducing the various, the melange of art forms have brought in a remarkable changes and also strengthened the learning process of Bharatanatyam or even a dance. Yoga has 196 Yoga Sutras in the treatise written by Maharishi Patanjali. And today we are going to talk about how it helps a dancer to learn and to make the performing more and more better. Yes, I warmly welcome you to this talk session.
Thank
And
you.
I'm very happy, and I'm very, very happy that you agreed
Thank you. No,
to
it's my
come on.
Riley. I mean, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, ma'am. My pleasure. And you are an elegant dancer. You have been teaching Bharatanatyam for more than 23 years now. And you are always more creative. And I have seen your dance performances, and I see how much hard work you put in to train your disciples and understand them, understand the core talent and skills of your disciples, and help them to improve more and more. So I really appreciate that fact.
Thank you.
Along with training numerous students in the traditional dance style of Bharatanatyam, Prajyoti's focus has also been conducting educational workshops in schools, colleges, and within communities all over England for the past 20 years. It has always been Prajyoti's aim to break down cultural barriers through dance workshops, projects, and education. She firmly believes that it is only through education that people learn to respect people from other races, cultures, and communities.
Yoga, as I said, when I had my back injury about 15 years back, no amount of physio or acupressure, acupuncture, all sorts of treatments didn't help me. And I was off work for about 6 months. And then I said, fine, this can't go on. I can't stop dancing. So I'm going to start doing yoga. And at that time, all I knew was Surya Namaskar. So I started doing Surya Namaskar regularly. And within a month, I was back dancing. So that was my love for, and faith in yoga. That's what created that faith in me for yoga. So I started learning yoga asanas, which would help strengthen and condition the body. Now, the thing is with Bharatanatyam or any art form, any dance form or sports, the body goes through a lot of trauma.
Yes, that's true.
Especially with dance, the way in Bharatanatyam or Odissi or any art form, any dance form you take, I'm sort of totally in awe of all dance forms because I know how difficult it is to control your movements and to make dance look effortless. I keep telling my students, you have to make dance look effortless, but you're putting double the effort to make it look effortless. Now, for one to be able to do that, it is very, very important to condition our body. Traditionally, when I was growing up and when we would warm up for Bharatanatyam, we would do a lot of dance-specific warm-ups. They are good when you're young, but as one gets older, it's not advisable to do those. In fact, I don't teach any of my students some of the exercises that we used to do when we were growing up, because it's fine doing it as a young dancer, But in the long term, your body gets, the constant trauma to your joints, especially to the knees. For
Yes.
example, when you sit in Murmandi and you jump,
Yes.
that
Yes.
exercise is a definite no-no. I just do not recommend that, because you may not realize it when you're young. But as you get older and your joints do get a bit weak, it's all these years of abuse that it gets through the training that your knees just pack up. So my take on yoga for dance is to make dance as safe as possible, make warm-ups as safe as possible, and to prepare my students' bodies and also their minds and their knowledge about what they're doing. So whenever I teach them yoga, I explain to them why they're doing it, which muscles they are working, and I try and link it to the adavas that they do. So when they're doing a trikonasana, for example, when they do that, and I say, okay, now when you're doing the metta adava, you will feel stretch, and but
Yes.
hurt less. So I have designed lots of different sequences, combining 2 or 3 asanas together to target specific muscles or specific asanas.
Okay.
Um,
Wow, that's beautiful.
yeah, because I see the other thing is generally people feel yoga, either you love it or you sort of don't care much about it, because a lot of people feel yoga, oh, it's too slow, oh, it's not for me. I like something a little more with a bit of oomph and a little more energy and things like that. So I said, right, so let's make yoga a little more energetic, at the same time give you that workout and the body conditioning that one needs. So
Yes.
that's why it's called Natya Shakti Yoga. Natya because it's like dance. So I do it like a vinyasa. So that's the aspect of it. Shakti because it's a power yoga. So there is a lot of
Okay.
holding of the asanas after you have done the vinyasa. And that's what it is. So it's Natya Shakti Yoga. So it gives you a total body workout while stretching and strengthening, toning and conditioning your body and improving
Okay.
your core stability. And I have seen a marked difference in all my students. I mean, it's mandatory. In my dance school, it's mandatory. Even the beginners, they do basic exercises, animal poses or balancing, holding your pose like a tree or whatever. It's making it interesting. But it is important that they have that body awareness of the muscles that they're using and how they can optimize the movement without injuring themselves, and that focus. They have that focus when you do yoga before a dance session or before sports, before any activity. It just brings your mind and body in harmony. You start
Okay.
focusing on yourself, and any job that is done, if the focus is there, obviously the results are fantastic.
I've
And
seen, yes.
and it's very therapeutic. I always say dance is meditation in movement. So you
Yes.
are meditating while dancing as well, because you're focusing only on your body, you're focusing on the movement, you're focusing on the music, on all the different choreography, but at the same time constantly being aware of safety in dance, safe dance
Yes.
practice.
Yes.
It's
That
the
is so
most,
much important.
yes.
Yes, that's true. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for that information. That was needed. I think the awareness to learn yoga is more needed, because there is a myth. Even I have come across saying that a dancer, because since they do a lot of postures and a lot of movements, they don't need yoga. That's what the myth I have heard.
Mhm.
But dancers need yoga the most. That's what even I feel.
Yes, yes. I mean,
Yes.
dancers, sports personalities, football
Yes.
or any sports personalities. I have,
Yes.
I mean, I do adult yoga class as well, and I have some of my students, adult students, who are runners. And they say that, it's really helped our quads. It's really helped our legs to get stronger. We can run
Yes.
faster. I had a student who runs marathons all over the world. And she said, Bharatanatyam and yoga and all that has really strengthened her legs.
Yes.
See,
Yes.
things that we need. We do talk about all the qualities that the dancer needs to be a good dancer. But the one thing that everybody should focus on before you become a good dancer is to condition your body. The hamstrings, everybody's hamstrings are so tight, even dancers. So when you do a natadva, when you're stretching and you have to stretch your hamstrings, people can't really do it to the best of that,
Best.
posture that should, at the extent to which they should go,
Yes.
because their hamstrings are tight. And that is where
Yes.
you have the risk of injuries. So it is not just the hamstrings. Then you work your quads, you work your inner thighs, you work your core, you work your arms. So every part of your body needs to be conditioned, and it needs
Yes.
to be strong. And as I said, I have seen, students who would wobble while holding a pose. Suddenly they're holding it for a long time without even batting an eyelid, and that stance is so strong. You can see that improvement, and that's what's
Yes.
very exciting for me.
Yes.
Bharatanatyam and yoga are very, very exciting for me. When I teach Bharatanatyam, it just fascinates me. It's mathematics and movement. It's the geometry that you create, the shapes that we create, in air with our body on the floor. And I keep telling the girls, see, look at the shapes you have created. Be aware of that, those shapes.
Yes.
But that's looking better now and stronger because you are aware of your muscles.
Aware of things, and that looks so beautiful. That has its own beauty.
True.
That's true.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And the common basic queries or the problems what a dancer face is the lack of balance. Lack
Mhm.
of balance when they need to stay in certain dance movements for some time. There are basically a lack of balance. So, what do you suggest to strengthen the muscles? What basic exercises to strengthen the muscles,
So you
especially?
see, like how when we do Bharatanatyam, we start with the Tattadva. We'll start with the first step and then develop slowly. We keep adding, layering new steps and advers to what you're learning. That is the process, isn't it? It is the same process even with yoga. When people say, "Oh, we want to improve our core strength and core stability," they're in a rush to do it. They want to
Yes.
go and get into asanas that are, quite strong, but it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes perseverance, and you need to keep doing, and consistency. It's very
Yes,
important that
consistency.
people practice their yoga every day. I tell my students, it doesn't matter if you don't do a long session. Just do 15 minutes, because I've put these power yoga sequences, they're all 10-minute sequences where I've combined. And I've given them that. I say, you choose any of the sequences you want. You could be doing an Adho Mukha Svanasana with an Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, or you could be doing a Trikonasana with a Urdhva Virabhadrasana. So, but they're working different muscles at the same time, but strengthening them. And then we also do some balancing exercises, like, just focus, do your Vrikshasana, the tree pose,
Yes.
your Natarajasana. And whatever asana you do, it strengthens your core. You may not realize it, but your core is working because you're holding those postures. And that, just the regular practice of yoga strengthens your core anyway. Do plank. We do a lot of Kumbhakasana, and we do a lot of
Okay.
Chaturanga Dandasanas. So these are all, very good core exercises.
Core exercises.
Yeah.
Yes, and we have a query. It says, have you associated a particular asana with each adavu? I insist my students include yoga in the Natya Abhyasa, but it would be helpful to associate a particular asana with each adavu. So they're asking, do you have a certain yoga for each adavu?
No, see, the thing is, you can't have it for each adva, because asanas work on with so many different advas. So different advas require different movements. You see, some require when you bend forward, so you need your back to be straight. You need your hamstrings to be stretched. So you will do asanas. I will make them do asanas that will work those muscles, and some asanas some advas you will require to sit in mandi.
Yes.
So you will need to do some leg exercises. So
Yes.
it's very difficult to just put it in a box and say this asana is for
Yes.
this.
Yes.
It
Yes.
works across the board generally, but then you're working certain asanas. For example, when I'm doing Mayadva, and I'm teaching them the Mayadva, and I'll say, okay, right now to enhance and to improve that lengthening of your body,
Mhm.
these are some of the asanas that you could do. That is where your Trikonasana will really work, because
Work.
you're
Yes.
extending those muscles. Yeah.
Yes.
So when you're doing the Natadva, where you have to twist your body, that's where you would do the twisting exercises. Yeah.
Yes.
So those are the exercises that I would do for all those adavas. So it is sometimes when I'm teaching them an adava, especially if I'm teaching them a new adava or I'm teaching them a choreography, and I find that they are struggling with getting that neatness, I'll say, okay, right, stop, do this asana now.
Okay.
Then I pick an asana which is going to make that adava look better. I say, okay, now let's stop. Let's just work our body. Let's become aware of our muscles. Let's do this asana, work with that. And then if they do that, it automatically looks effortless.
Yes, and we enjoy doing it at the same time. I think
Yeah.
when we get the posture right, that's when we get the confidence also.
Yes,
I think it
absolutely.
matters a lot. Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, I sort of bounce off my students as well because they're all young. They're all so much younger than me. Yeah. So when I do a yoga with them, I push them to do more. But because they can do it, I push myself to do more as well. So it is that interaction. I mean, many times when I tell my students, come, right, I'm going to do yoga with you, they'll say, oh no, because they know that I'm going to push them to do a little more.
A basic problem with the dance performers. So basically, whatever they when they perform, they need the breath synchronization movements, which is very important, even when it is for a musician and even for a dancer. To learn the synchronization of breathing is so important. So, how do we, practice the breathing
Okay.
sessions? What are the main things?
So you were asking me about the breathing techniques, right?
Yes, the breathing techniques.
So I have a very simple suggestion for everybody who does yoga, and the same thing is for dance that I do. So we breathe in when we come up, breathe out when we go down. So it's just drawing energy from earth. You take the energy from earth, and then you push the energy back into earth, go down. So we use those simple, as I said, simplicity, nothing too complex. I don't make them do very difficult breathing exercises. Those I do with my adult classes when we do pranayama and all that. But students, I just teach them same technique of how to breathe with movement. So you prepare yourself, you inhale to prepare your body, and then you exhale to extend whatever it's an asana or it's a dance pose.
Okay, I think that is very important to even understand the breathing movements when we perform. I think that
Yes,
matters a lot, and one has to
true,
keep
true.
a track of all these things. Especially, I think there's a lot of importance when it comes to musician as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, for musicians and all that, they do a lot. I'm sure they do a lot of
Of course,
pranayama and the
yes,
breathing
of course,
techniques, things like
yes.
yeah. As I said, when I do pranayama with my adult students and my regular classes, because they don't, when you dance, you're automatically doing a lot of pranayama because you're breathing in constantly.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that itself gives you a good, pranayama exercise. It's just knowing when to breathe in, when to breathe out. So those are the things I tell my students. Like, for example, if you're doing a Parvaladva, so I'll say breathe in, lift, and then breathe out when you stretch. So now, and then breathe in, breathe out. So that extension and then bringing that breath control allows them to really move.
Then I wanted to talk to you about the basic things, not exactly related to dancer, but generally, if now in this scenario or the present day, everybody are more focused on improving their health. Everybody are aware that they need to maintain their health. So there are certain dilemma when it comes to going to gym or learn a yoga. So, how do you suggest that which of the form has a long time benefit or has a lot of therapeutic, the strength, the core strength that can give you a core strength that a person is searching for?
Everything has its place. Everything has its place. I work out at home. I do my Natya aerobics. I do my yoga, and I do my dance, all that. But having said that, I used to love going to the gym. So everything There is no right or wrong. There is no such thing as, oh, you should do this or you shouldn't do that. So do weights should always stretch. I mean, that is a definite thing for everybody. I'm not saying do yoga, though I would like everybody to do yoga. That's absolutely fine. But I say to fit him, he's got fantastic muscles and all that. But I do tell him to do yoga, and he does stretches, whenever he can, he does stretches, and he joins my class as well. Purely because when you're doing weights and you're lifting so many weights, your muscles get, really short and contracted and stiff.
Yes.
Then you have the risk of a muscle or having an injury. But if you're doing yoga as well, it keeps you flexible. It keeps your muscles supple but strong.
Yes, that's true.
Corporate, for people working in offices and corporates, it's very, there's no, you can't say that you have to do it at this time, you have to do it in the morning or in the evening. Whenever they get time, they can do whatever stretches or exercises they can. That's what I was saying. I've put together some desktop yoga exercises that they can do at their desktop, sitting in front of their computer, just stretching their hamstrings, stretching their quads, stretching their shoulders, arms. You can take little breaks and do it, or you can just stand at your desktop and do warrior poses. There are exercises that you can do. But again, it depends on how much time one has in the day to dedicate time for whatever exercises that they can do. One of my students, I think she's in a video that you posted today.
Okay.
She's in IT, and she's a Bharatanatyam dancer, but sitting at the computer for hours on end, she developed pain in her sciatica.
Okay.
And she came to me once and said, Auntie, I'm in a lot of pain at my sciatica because I'm at the computer all the time. So I taught her Asana, that is the pigeon pose, doing it on the floor, but also doing it standing and doing it on the chair. And she's been doing it regularly, and her pain has gone now. And she said, Auntie, I've been doing this, and it's really stretched my muscles, and my pain has gone. So you see, it's that. It's if you have any issues, a lot of people have back problem. They have shoulder pain because they're at the computer, or they have pain in their hamstrings because they're sitting hours on end. So there are a lot of exercises that one can do at the desk.
Yes, ma'am. That is so useful. Yes, I think sitting at the same position and working for hours together, I think we need to work a lot and do exercises that can help us and even work efficiently as well.
Yes. I mean, I sit every hour, 5 minutes, just take a 5-minute break.
Yes.
Just stand wherever you're working at the computer. Just stand up every half an hour. Stand up and just stretch your calves, stretch your hamstrings. You just do, or lift your knee up to your chest. Do some simple stretches so that your body is not, stiff. That you're not aching then, sitting in position for hours and hours on end. So, yeah, it's very, very important that people keep getting up and moving, keep stretching. Stretching is the best thing that you can do to ease all the tension in you.
Yes, that's true. And I would also like to ask you that is there any advice that you would like to give the dancers especially?
I say it is important for everybody to learn Surya Namaskar, because each Surya Namaskar gives you 12 exercises. You are working, it is such a fantastic sequence, because while you're stretching one muscle, you're contracting the other, then you do counteract. For example, if you are doing Adho Mukha Svanasana, you're stretching your back muscles completely, all the way from your shoulders to your heels. Then you do Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, so you're stretching your front of your body all the way from your toes up to your shoulders. So, you do that, and then you do the lunge. So you work hamstring on one leg, but quads on the other leg.
Yes.
Then you do the forward fold, the Uttanasana, you do the Utkatasana. So you're working every muscle in your body, And I would recommend every dancer should do Surya Namaskar. I try and do 108 Surya Namaskars a week. And in that week, actually, it'll be 5 days, but 2 days I'm teaching full day, so it becomes a bit difficult for me to do that many. But I try and do 18, at least 18 or 20 Surya Namaskars or 24 Surya Namaskars, depending on, whatever I can do. So that I have that 108 in the week. That's my target.
Okay.
So I tell my students, set a target. Set a target for yourself, not 108. Say, okay, I'm going to do 4 Surya Namaskars every day, or I'm going to do 6. Depending on how much time or what you feel you want to, how much you want to work your body, do it. Target. Maintain a logbook. I tell all my students to maintain a logbook. Write down what asanas you did, how long you exercised, what you felt at the end of the exercise, and I have different routines that I have put together. So if you're doing the Trikonasana with the Urdhva Bhadrasana, the other day you're doing Virabhadrasana, one with the Parsvakonasana. So that way I have put sequences together. So I said, do a different sequence every day, but do your Surya Namaskar. And then write it down. And then at the end of the week, you see where you are, how you felt. And maybe down the line in a few months' time, you may feel that you have improved your flexibility, your strength, your stability. And then you look back at your logbook and say, oh, I could do only this many. Now look, see how much I'm doing. It's good. It's a feel good thing. And also it's good to document what you're doing for your own growth.
Own growth,
so
yes.
Those are the advices I give my students, that make sure you do your Surya Namaskar. Don't give me excuses. I've got to work, I've got this work, that work. I said, cut down on your TV viewing or do it in front of the TV. Do your Surya Namaskar.
Yes.
That is the most important. Everybody.
And ma'am, maintaining consistency is the main problem. Maintaining consistency.
Absolutely.
Now, how can one get motivated every day? I mean, how can we inspire ourselves, motivate ourselves, and then maintain that consistency?
It all depends on what one wants to achieve. Different people have different goals that they want to achieve. If some people want to lose weight, some people want to improve their flexibility, some people want to tone their body, some people just want to be good at yoga, trying out different asanas. And for dancers, definitely it will make them better dancers. That itself is motivation. Knowing that, because my students sometimes say, oh, auntie, I couldn't do this, Now look, I can do it so easily. I can do the mandi so easily. Or look, I'm holding this pose and it's so effort, not feeling tired. That itself is motivation for them. That yes, my yoga is me. It's making me a better dancer. So it depends on what a person wants to achieve. What I always say is baby steps. Be realistic. Don't be unrealistic goals for yourself. Saying, I'm going to do 1 hour of this and I'm going to do half an hour of that. And every morning I'm going to get up at 6 and I'm going to do this. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Yes, have that plan that yes, I'll get up and do my yoga. Maybe next morning you will wake up with a headache, or maybe something else will come up, or you may not be able to do it. So a lot of people, what they do is they set a time and they say, okay, I'm going to do it at this time. And they can't do it at that time. The time has passed. That's it, gone. They haven't made a plan B, a contingency plan for that practice. Yes. So my advice to everybody is, yes, it's good to be disciplined. It's good to set a time. It's good to do it at that time. But if you cannot do it, don't beat yourself about it. Do it later. Like I give the example of in the exam, when we used to do our exams, our teachers would say, if you don't know the answer to one question, just put it aside, go to the next one.
Go on to the next one.
Come back to this later.
Yes.
Come back to this later.
Yes.
So the same advice. If you can't do your exercise, whatever exercise you have chosen, whatever it is that you want to do, if you can't do it at I'm going to do it at 6 every morning. If you can't do it, forget it. Do whatever else that needs your attention. Do that. Maybe do your exercise at 6 in the evening, or 7 in the evening, or 4 in the afternoon. It doesn't. What is important is doing it. The time is not important.
Yes.
So make sure you practice whatever you set. Set a target that I'm going to do this much. Don't make it unrealistic and unachievable.
Yes, that's true.
Baby steps. you will realize as you keep doing your exercises that you're getting stronger. The stronger you get, the more you can do.
Yes, that's true.
Don't look at somebody else, and don't look at somebody else and say, oh, that person is doing that. I want to do exactly what that person is doing. Yes, but that person must have worked really hard to reach that level.
And
Yeah.
I would also like to give the information to the viewers that Mrs. Prajyoti ma'am has been doing on another project called the Natya Aerobics. I think that is one of the melange of art forms that one can even think of. I think that's a beautiful melange, and one can enjoy that, as well as it is accessible to each and every person, each and every age group. It has no restrictions. Anybody can join in the workshops, the workout sessions.
Aerobics, which is an easy-to-do version of various dance forms of India, including Bollywood, classical, folk, and yoga. These dances are suitable for people of all ages and abilities and can be done at home by the entire family. This routine combines Bharatanatyam movements and yoga postures in a calming routine that helps you focus on stretching, strengthening, and toning the various muscle groups in your body. The creation of Natya Aerobics. Dance your way to fitness with Natya Aerobics, a new form of workout. Through her work with children and adults over the past 20 years, Prajyoti realized that there isn't much physical activities offered to children in schools. And children and adults aren't doing enough exercise, which is such an important requirement for one's health and well-being. While children and adults loved the Indian dance moves and Indian music, lots of them couldn't sustain this activity without getting totally breathless with just 10 minutes of dancing. This is what motivated Prajyoti to create Natya aerobic dance and fitness routines. The music was commissioned by Prajyoti, and 4 tracks with different speeds and genre were composed by Pramad Kiran, a brilliant musician, and tried and tested at various schools and communities for 6 years before Natya Aerobics DVDs were finally produced.
It is meant for everybody of all ages, all abilities. It is meant for everyone. What I've done is it was 6 years of planning, because I got it was Kiran in Bangalore, and then it took me 6 years. I tried it out in various schools with various age groups, adults, children, in countries and everywhere, and then choreograph something that people can do easily. You see, if you're a non-dancer, even simple steps which dancers may think, oh, it's so easy, a person who has not been trained can find it challenging. So I've tried to keep it interesting, but not too challenging.
Yeah.
But at the same time, challenging enough that it works your muscles and builds your stamina and gives you a workout. And it's geared mainly at weight loss, building your stamina and energy. Yeah, but that's the main focus. But having fun. It's fun. Minute the music is switched on, you want to dance.
Yes.
And
yes. I've seen
yes,
the videos.
so it is.
Yes. I've seen the videos, and yes, as soon as we hear the music, yes, we want to tap our feet and start dancing. So that's very energetic. I think that's very interesting as well. It's completely different.
Yes, yes, and it can be done at home. That's the thing. You see, a lot of women have various reservations going and working out in a gym. They may have various reasons they can't go out and work out.
The workshops that you conduct mostly to create awareness about the workshops you did for people with diabetic, or to make them aware of certain diet process. So can you tell us something about that?
So I did a project called, to build, basically to make people aware of diet and exercise as a program that everybody should have. See, they both go hand in hand. You can't do all your exercise and go and eat samosas and go and eat all the, unhealthy stuff. It doesn't work. Diet and exercise go hand in hand. So it was just to build an awareness about that. So I'm giving people an option that you can do these exercises at home. And we had dietitians and nutritionists who came and spoke to people, gave them a talk, gave them an understanding of what is bad, so that women, I feel that if women have an understanding, homemakers or women, men, whoever are the homemakers, have an understanding of healthy diet along with exercise, the whole family benefit.
Okay. I think that was
Yeah.
lovely. Yes.
So it was that.
Yes.
It was
Yes. I think there are much information that we have received from you today. You agreed for the live session with me, and then sparing the time for our session is really an honor and privilege for me.
Thank you very
And
much for inviting me. It's been a pleasure.
thank you so much, ma'am. And I would also like to thank Madhusudan sir as well for all the support. So everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. I wouldn't have been able to do what I do, and I can't do what I do without his support. I mean, I got my qualification as an aerobic instructor at the age of 51. I got my qualification as a yoga instructor at the age of 52. Though I'd been doing aerobics and yoga and all, I thought, for me, I wanted to learn anatomy and physiology and go into the details of, the theory and all that, and get my certification so that I can then conduct classes, conduct workshops with that certification, because it's always better to,
Yes.
especially about, and yes, with Madhu being doctor, I used to pick his brain. I still do, asking him when he's an orthopedic surgeon. So I would keep asking him to teach me about, the muscles and the bones and the hips
Yes.
and the joints and all that. So yes, I can't do it without the support of our family. So yes,
Yes.
it's, I'm very grateful.
Yes, family is the major support system. Yes, that's
True.
true. Yes, ma'am. So I thank you so much for being here, and you have shared a lot of information. I think yoga is definitely something that everybody should opt for, and because since it is our ancient tradition that has been followed since ages, since centuries. So I think the importance of that, the dance and the yoga is so deep, and everybody at least need to have certain amount of knowledge of these art forms. I think that is very necessary.
True. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Take care.
Take care, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Bye.
Bye bye. Okay. In spite of those technical issues, I really thank each one of you for staying tuned with us. And I hope you all understand the technicality issues, what happens in the live session. But in spite of that, you have been here with us. And then, throughout the session, I think that what matters a lot for me, especially for somebody who's hosting the program. And thank you so much for each and every one. I think yoga is something that we have to be aware of, and we need to understand our own Asian traditions that had been passed on since centuries. I hope that this session has brought in certain amount of information to all of you, and including me as well. So we'll be back next week with another artist. So stay home, stay safe, and namaste, everybody.
Prajyoti has been involved in various artistic educational projects, dance in education projects, workshops, inset training, and charity events. She has also been involved in projects such as the Oldham Festival of Tolerance, Forest of India, the Dance, Health, and Wellbeing Expo, to name a few. Pushpanjali Dance Company. Pushpanjali Dance Company offers a journey through the rich cultural heritage of India by presenting opportunities to experience and enjoy a variety of dances, including classical and folk dances, each of which is unique and colorful. Classical dance in India, with its graceful and intricate movements, originated more than 3,000 years ago in the temples of southern India. The essence of these dances lies within traditions and mythology, where stories of Indian gods and goddesses are brought to life through the narrative element of storytelling, using beautiful hand gestures and facial expressions. The richness and variety of India's villages are brought to life through folk dances, which encompasses a great diversity of events and occasions such as harvest, weddings, festivals, and rituals. These dynamic dances, with their aesthetic beauty, are an expression of joy and a celebration of life.